Hello YouTube. Today I'm going to be showing and talking about the at specification. That specification is what lets you choose what player you want to do what with. So if I wanted to TP, I can do at A and then to a starting position I want, which would be 0, 2, 0. And what that does is it teleports all entities to that position. Pretty cool, pretty neat, right? There's a lot to this. I'm going to go over all of that in this video. I'm going to talk about how to get only people with tags and stuff along that lines. And we're going to get into specifications. If you want to hit the like button, that'd be kind of cool. I'll see you guys in a moment. Hello YouTube. Wait, 3, 2. Hello YouTube. In today's video, this is going to be a little bit more in-depth tutorial, and I'm going to go over a few more things than I usually would. This is probably going to be like the only video that I'm going to do this. It's just explaining over several videos is kind of hard, so I'm going to explain the meat of most command block stuff in one video that's going to be a little bit more lengthy and a little bit more in-depth. But the two things we're going to mostly be talking about is the at, like the at thing when you TP at A, and then you go to some position. We're going to go over that. And we're also going to go over /tag. And then whatever. We're going to be going over both of these. This is going to be a little bit longer, so please stick around. This took me a while to make, so please hit the like button down below. That means a lot to me. But I'm going to get right into it. So there's the at thing. This at can do a lot of stuff. This can teleport anybody or everything. But you're going to think you press TP and then you do at, and you see how a few things appear. The at A, all players, at E, all entities, at N, nearest entity, at P, nearest player, at R, random player, at S, current entity. At S doesn't work on command blocks unless you do some weird stuff, so I'm kind of going to skip over that. But everything else I will go over. It seems like everything seems quite self-explanatory, but there's quite a bit to it. Like, if I spawn in a boat, you'd think this is just a boat. But what an entity is it's a thing. It's a item, or whatever you'd want to call it, that has a hitbox. And the way to see hitboxes is by pressing F3 on your keyboard, and then you can also hit B at the same time. And this will open a debug menu kind of thing that lets you see hitboxes. Everything out there is a hitbox. That chicken, that has a hitbox. That pig has a hitbox. Those pigs have a hitbox. Everything has a hitbox. Most things have a hitbox, except like blocks and stuff. But as you look at this boat, it also seems to have a hitbox. But if I also get an armor stand, this also has a hitbox. This means that this boat and this armor stand would be considered an entity. So if I were to teleport, this is going to be probably not the best idea ever. If I were to TP at E, so all entities to this position. If I click this button, every entity in this world gets teleported to this position. There are no entities with hitboxes elsewhere. Even the armor stand I had earlier. You can also do this with TP. It would be random entity. So you do at N. You can also TP random entity to the coordinates you set. This doesn't work because some weird stuff. I'm not going to get over that right now. But I'm going to get more into depth on the at E. You think, okay, that's cool. I can teleport all entities. But what if I don't want to teleport all entities? What if I just want to teleport the entities that are a cow, or like only armor stands, or only something? The way you would do that is by opening the command block, doing TP, and then you do at E. But you're thinking, hey, that teleports all of them. I don't want that chicken to be over here. I don't want that pig to be over here. But that's where this colon comes in, or this bracket, whatever you want to call this. This right here, if you type this key in, it opens a lot of things you can put. We're going to focus on only a few, like type, team, game mode, and some other stuff. So if you only wanted to teleport armor stands, you would do type, you go TP at E, type armor stands, and then it will automatically fill for you. So you click on that. And then you can close that bracket, and then obviously set the coordinates, which would be the block you're looking at, aka the command block. So right now you have teleport type armor stands, and it looks all nice and cool. If you press this button, I don't have any armor stands down. Hold up, let me spawn an armor stand. If you press this button, the armor stand would get teleported to that position from where it was previously located. And only that armor stand. That seems pretty cool. That opens a huge possibility to stuff you can do. But there's also another thing. What if I had armor stands doing something special, but then I also needed to teleport a boat? Everything that's not an armor stand. Everything in the world that's not an armor stand. The way you would do that is you would go to the beginning of armor stand, and you can put an explanation. Oh, wait, it wouldn't be there. It'd be at Minecraft. So you could go to the beginning of like the huge thing that's like Minecraft dot dot armor stand, and if you put an exclamation point, all that does is says not. So you do teleport type not armor stand. So it teleports everything that is not an armor stand. Everything gets teleported there, but the armor stands seem to be in the same position. So it looks like that works. Nice, bon appetit. Very beautiful, very bonice. You can do some other stuff, but that's just the main part of it. But what if you only wanted to do something that was in only like a certain state or a certain like position? You would use the DX, DY, DC, and XYZ, XYZ, X, Y, and Z. I'm not really going to get into that. I'll get into that on a later video because I'm going to be honest, I'm not fully sure on how that works, but I just have a pretty good idea on how that works. So, now that we have that done, something we can do. If we're going to go over to tags. Tag is a way to teleport only one type of armor stand. We can also change the name of that armor stand, but for certain things, that's not really what we would want to do. So, how do we tag something? Most occasions to tag something, we would want to do it in chat. There's some occasions where automation's the best, but most occasions we'd want to do it in chat. So I would come over here and I would look at this mob right here, and I would do slash tag, and as long as I'm looking at this thing, you guys remember how if you're set coordinates and you're looking at a position, then it automatically fills the coordinates you're looking at. It does the same for entities. This is a long hash code. It's not called a hash code, but it's kind of complicated. I'm not going to explain it. But it's a long number that represents the mob you're looking at. So if I do tag and then the mob I'm looking at right here, and then I can do add, list, or remove. This list will list all the tags on the entity. Add will add a tag to the entity. Remove will remove whatever tag you want from the entity, or all if you clarify it too. So if you do add, so you do tag the entity I'm looking at, add Bob. So I just added tag Bob to armor stand. So if I come over here now, I can go to this command block here. I can do TP at E tag. Tag is also something you can use. You can do tag Bob. And then if you close brackets, oh wait, I also need the position, my bad. Only the armor stand named Bob gets teleported. That's how the tag works. You can add a tag to an entity. There's a lot of possibilities you can do with that. Like you can automate it so armor stands get a tag named Bob or whatever, and then like they spawn in with Bob and then teleport to the player, and then after a few seconds it teleports the player to Bob, therefore making it so it's like a teleports back. There's a lot of stuff you can do with that. I'm not going to tell you what you can do. I will show some examples later on, but for now, that's just something cool you can do with tags. You can add a tag to an entity, then teleport all entities that have the tag Bob. So if I add Bob to like several armor stands, or I can add it to a pig for that matter, it would teleport all entities with the tag Bob. That's been it for tags and the @ sign. I might go into more depth on this in the future. This is just an outline of how it works and kind of explanation on how to use it and like all the stuff you can use for it. Like, I don't know, just this took me a while. This series is taking me a while to do. So if you wouldn't mind hitting the like button down below, I would very much appreciate that. I'll see you guys in my next episode. Bye.